Let's talk about Turbo! TurboFest, as many of you probably know because you watch my channel, is a juggling festival in Quebec, Canada, where people juggle, and I went to it for the first time ever a little while ago. It feels like it was last week. I know it's been a little bit longer than that because I don't understand how time works, so deal with it. But I did want to make a video telling you all about my experience, following up with you, because I said I would. So that's what this is. TurboFest was awesome. It was awesome. It was one of my favorite festivals I have ever been to, and I've been to a lot of them. It was just so much better than I thought it was gonna be. I mean, I thought it was gonna be good, but it was really good. Afterward, I was trying to figure out what exactly was like so different about it, but it feels different from a lot of festivals in subtle ways. First off, the location, just as beautiful as I thought it was gonna be. It was really surreal for like the first day, just juggling in this like cathedral. I felt like I was gonna get in trouble or something, because like when are you ever going to get to juggle in like a giant church with the beautiful windows and the architecture? Like it doesn't happen. So it really was awesome. Like in every sense of that word, awe. It was gorgeous and beautiful, and I felt really fortunate to be able to juggle in a space like that. I think that's a really rare opportunity, and I appreciated the crap out of it. The gym was a little bit smaller than I'm used to at a juggling festival, but even then it was still plenty big, and the rest of the space more than made up for it. There were 2 different floors. The bottom floor was great for like workshops and stuff. The upper floor was the stage and the gym, and let me tell you, it's awesome having the stage where the festival is happening. Like most festivals, there's the festival gym area, and then you have to go off-site for some sort of stage performance. I'm not a big fan of stage performances. I kind of dislike them a lot. It's a thing. I don't want to go into it right now. I don't really like to sit through all of them. So for me, it was really great being able to like kind of hover in the back and still kind of juggle or like mess around while the show was happening. Like not making noise and stuff. Obviously I was respectful, but it was nice not to have to sit in the chair and watch an hour and a half of people juggling. I really liked that setup. I wish that that was a more common setup. Also, you could get food and drinks like at the gym. Because it's a circuit school, they have a little cafe thing where you get coffee and food and drinks and stuff, and that was really, really convenient. Every festival has its pros and cons, and many festivals have some amazing things that make them unique. I recommend most juggling festivals. But in terms of the location setup of this one, boy, I feel spoiled. The people obviously were great. Jugglers are pretty much always great, with very few exceptions. All of the concerns I had about like language and stuff didn't matter at all. Everyone was super sweet. Nobody made me feel bad for not being able to speak the French. I shouldn't have expected anything different. It makes sense. Jugglers are great. I got to hang out with some old friends, which was awesome, and I got to make a whole bunch of new friends. I got to meet Lisa, who is just the coolest person ever. Like, she's so cool. And we got to juggle. We got to make like a silly little video. I'll show it to you now. Yeah, so we are both on that same level of whatever that was. I showed that video to somebody in the gym like 20 minutes after that, and the first thing they asked was, how early in the morning was this and how tired were you guys? I had fun explaining that it was in the middle of the day and we were not very tired. We were just like that. The parts of the show that I did see were great. Really good acts. Lisa, Delaney, some crazy acro stuff. Like, it was great. Again, I don't really like shows, and the parts that I saw I really enjoyed. So that's saying a lot for me. So my absolute favorite part of the festival were the games. The games are pretty much always my favorite part of festivals. I just think they're great. They're so inclusive. Everyone gets to play. There's usually a great difficulty range and variety of what is being played, and I just love them. They're my favorite. And Turbo did something that I'm not used to seeing. So if you remember in the last Turbo video, I talked about my confusion over what competitions were versus games. Well, that's basically Turbo separating the games, what are typically called the games at a juggling festival, into two different categories. They call anything that is kind of serious, like 5-ball endurance, 7-ball endurance, any of the endurances. I think blind juggling was in it, passes, all of those games that are like really skill-based, I think, those were all in the competitions, which makes sense. And then the games were the more silly games, quarter juggling, or rather, whatever Canadian money is. Are they called quarters? I also suggested that they do a higher buy-in of quarter juggling for like $1 instead of quarters, and they did it. So they get points for that. They listened to me. Good job. I have good ideas, they should be implemented. And they were, and I didn't win. But I came in like third. Delaney pretty much won all of the competitions. Literally, she won like 12 medals. Which no one was surprised by, because she's Delaney. They did one of my favorite games, which is limbo juggling, which normally is like juggling 3 objects and then playing limbo, where there's a pole and you have to like go underneath it while juggling. But Turbo did it with prop balancing. So instead of juggling, like toss juggling, you were balancing a club or a ring, etc., and having to go under the limbo bar, which was just great. It was so much fun to watch. People were like super invested in it. It got really hard, and my friend Kayla won. Incredible, just really impressive. Like, I don't even know how you get to the point where you would be good at that skill, but people are. And if you're paying attention, you might see that I'm wearing a medal, and it says Turbo on it. Yeah. What did I win a medal for, you might ask? Well, on the back, it says Turbo Combat 2023. This is the combat juggling medal, and I have it. It's mine. If you've watched my videos over the years, you'll know that I'm really, really good at combat juggling. So yeah, I didn't win. They ended up running out of time or something, and they didn't do combat juggling, and I convinced them to give it to me instead. So now I have a medal. And you might think that's like bad sportsmanship, like I didn't earn this medal, but you know what? No one else talked their way into a medal, and that is a skill. So there. All of those awards are real though, I promise. So just that simple thing of like separating the competitions and the games was really, really nice. Most festivals just kind of condense them all into one, and that's fine, and it usually takes up like 2 hours or something. By separating them, they actually gave us more time to play games, which I loved, and it kind of allowed people to tune in to the things that they were more interested in. When people tell me that they're not hugely fond of games at juggling festivals, it's usually because of the competition style games, because they just get kind of bored watching people juggle 5 balls or 5 rings, but all those like fun games they really like. So this was such a good solution to that, because people who like really wanted to compete in the endurances, like me, got to do that and got to know exactly when that was gonna be, and the people who just wanted to do the fun mess around stuff knew exactly when that was gonna be. It's so simple, but I've never seen that at a festival, and I really, really liked it. If you run a juggling festival, you should consider doing that. So yeah, it's hard for me to describe exactly why this festival felt like so unique, but it really did. I think the location, the scheduling, the great staff who ran it, it all came together to make a really memorable experience for me. I'm sure part of it is that I haven't been to a festival in a while, and it was really great to be back in the scene. But either way, I was really impressed by the festival. I really want to go back. It's probably on my list of must-go-to festivals now, if I can afford it. Also, they have great shirts. And yeah, that's the gist of it. Big thank you to all of the staff at Turbo for just running this event and making it possible for everybody. It really showed, and I'm really appreciative of it. Big thanks to everyone who hung out with me and had great conversations with me, or attended my workshops, or just anything. It was great to see everybody, and hopefully I'll see you next year. And if you were thinking about going, but you couldn't for some reason or whatever, I can now say with certainty that Turbo is awesome. Oh, and the last thing, my friend Zach and I, we're both really into Dr. Pepper. because it's the best. And neither of us had any when we showed up at Turbo, so we went on a little excursion to Walmart to get our Dr. Pepper. We then got stranded in the Walmart parking lot because car batteries. Then the car battery decided that it was going to work. And when we got back to the festival, we ripped open the Dr. Pepper case. We popped open the tab on the can. We both took a sip and we looked at each other like, what the crap is this? Canadian Dr. Pepper is broken. It is not good. It tastes like a knockoff brand of cherry cola that your grandparents have had in their basement for 4 years. It's just disgusting. It's not Dr. Pepper. I was really upset. And we had bought like a 24 case. We don't have a problem, okay? It's fine. We both drank them all, of course, but we were unhappy about it. So that's really the only thing that I can think of that Turbo Festival could do better, is just like to import some real Dr. Pepper that isn't garbage. I think that'd be a wise investment. It would just elevate it that last like 5%, you know? So keep that in mind when you do go to Turbo. They don't have Dr. Pepper. Tastes like home. Yeah. Fix your Dr. Pepper, Canada. Get on it.